I'm going to be completely honest here. I really hate making this type of thing. I don't like doing this, but I just have to vent for a moment. I don't know, where do we start? I mean, first off, just to let you know, this is dubbed over a recording of me drawing. It isn't actually me drawing right now. I mean, it was me drawing, but like 5 minutes ago or 30. I haven't kept track. I think that I've legitimately been slipping back with my art skills. I genuinely used to be better than this. I swear. I think I'm going a little insane. Over the past couple of days, I've just been trying to get myself to draw things. It's just not working, and I can't really meet my expectations. It's definitely a bit of a. I say definitely too much. It's just a bit of a mess. I can't convince myself to work on things lately. I can't really get myself to do as much as I want to. And I know people tell me to take a break, but like I try and take a break, right? And well, that's how I got here in the first place. I took a few weeks off, and now I feel like I'm completely broken. And to be honest, I haven't made as much art this year as I really would have wished I could, and it's been completely messing with me. I think the issue is just that I don't know where the motivation went. I don't know where anything went, and I'm particularly frustrated with the fact that I spent over a year just trying to learn stuff like gesture drawing, and it all kind of seemed to disappear. Like it just seems like it's gone at this point. I mean, surely it can't be gone. The knowledge has to be sitting there somewhere, but I really don't think it's showing through right now. I don't know. I think it also just helps to mention that I for the uninformed, I do run an animation studio. Or at least I'm trying to. Um, and the thing is, I just don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like I know what I'm doing, but I kind of don't. I feel like, I mean, I think as a director I've been doing okay, but I just feel extremely underqualified lately as I'm trying to get back into the flow of my work after taking that time off. And suddenly I feel like I just can't create as well as I used to anymore. I feel like my skills have genuinely slipped back to an extent that I'm really unhappy with. I mean, a lot of it's muscle memory. Muscle memory can die off, or can it? I don't know. I don't research these things all that heavily. I just really want to enjoy art again, and like not just in the I like what I'm doing sense. I love what I'm doing, but I really just want to be able to enjoy the process. I want to be able to enjoy learning things again and getting back into the flow of my work. There's a reason I do this for work. It's the only thing I want to do with my life. So it really does hurt to watch and see as I've clearly slipped back. Like just watch and see as I've clearly slipped back. I don't like that. It hurts to think about. It really hurts. I don't like it. What else is there? I mean, there's also the fact that I don't know how far I've come or if I've come that far at all because frankly, I don't keep track of my progress all that well. A lot of my older artworks before the existence of Studio Countdown and even during that, like just my personal works. A lot of my personal work isn't archived. I just don't really care as much about it. I mean, for studio work, of course, I'm going to keep everything around, but I just can't keep my own personal works around. I don't like art I make for myself, and I think that's a problem because I mean, what's the point of this? I want to make things. I want to create. That's the entire point of this whole mess. There's a reason I put myself through this so early and so quickly. I don't do this just because it's work. I do this because it's the only work I ever want to do in my life. So it is extremely heartbreaking for me to just think about how I just I just can't live up to my own standards right now, and I want to get back onto it. I'm trying to learn, but I wake up in the morning and I feel energetic, and after that I suddenly lose all my energy. I can't think, I can't focus, I can't even start the work I want to do, and it's just been a really frustrating past few weeks or months or however long this has been going for. Because if we're going to be honest, I don't keep track. It's weird. I really don't know what to say. And I mean, besides that, I think I'm repeating myself a lot, but I just know that this isn't where I want to be right now because I mean I am in a way I am where I want to be. I want to be creating art. I want to be learning the process, and I'm studying visual media. So I start with animation, and I'm going on to game design as well. But my field of work is still primarily animation. And I think the thing is, I love both game art and animation. I don't think I've said much about the game art side of things, but these are two of my favorite things in the world, and I think they're amazing mediums that you can tell incredible stories through. I just really hope that at some point I'll have the skills I feel are necessary to tell my own story because I just think I'm doing it wrong, and yeah. In my first year of studying animation, I worked on a small stop motion project, actually a stop motion, and it was meant to be a short film with a pretty in depth story I planned out, but after a certain point, I just kind of honestly gave up mostly on trying to pull off the story itself, and I don't know how to put it together. I don't know, like the final version just barely had bits of the story. It was barely long enough to be considered a complete piece. And I think what really messed me up about that is even after the end of year one, I decided, like after year one of my animation course, I just decided I'm going to try and um I'm going to try and take that story and make it into something. I talked with my friends about it too a lot, and I did try to make something, and it just didn't work. I feel like that's the point where I noticed that my creative motivation isn't pushing me anymore, and it drives me crazy because there's just so much I want to do, and there's just so much I want to say. But I feel like I'm either lazy or burnt out. But how can I possibly be burnt out? It's been so long. I've had so many breaks, and yeah, I mean, I'm looking into therapy. I want to find some way to get help because I am inherently kind of mentally ill. I am neurodivergent to say the least. I have ADHD and have a depression diagnosis and autism. That's like it's like a triple whammy of I don't even know how to describe it without being offensive. I usually describe it in a way that is more likely to offend myself because I'm not really the biggest fan of myself. But I just think that I can't be pushing this onto my medications either because I'm about to get really sensitive here. I think my medication just isn't working. I think I like that's what usually causes these lacks of focus for extended periods of time. But I also feel like there's just an underlying issue with the way I focus or the way I try to work or the way I try to create things that I care about so deeply that has led me to be so lazy and just weird about it. And I mean, being weird in itself isn't a bad thing. Being weird is kind of the whole point of creativity, but my issue is just that I feel like I haven't achieved as much as I wanted to in the past few years. I like to think of myself in a way like, would younger me be somewhat proud of where I am? And I like to think that he would be proud, but the more I think about it, I think that he might be just a little bit disappointed that I haven't come further at this point because, I mean, I had pretty high expectations, and I think it also comes from the fact that the first big skill or hobby that I learned was programming. And that's how I got into design eventually because I want to design my apps properly. And at some point, that shifted over to just art in general. And at some point, I realized I love illustration, I love game art, and I love animation. And that's how I got here. But I think the thing that's really screwed my perspective is how quickly I learned programming. It only took me a couple of years before I was really, really good at it. So I guess I haven't spent as much time drawing, but it's something that I really want to be able to get even better at because I just love it so much. I think with programming, I definitely had a slump like this at some point where I just felt like I wasn't able to code as well as I wanted to. And I think that I'm seeing that repeat with my art where I've gotten somewhat okay, but I've also just gotten to a point where I really just don't know what I'm doing. Or it feels like I just don't know what I'm doing. It's like it's the valley of doubt. You start with the whole uninformed, I say uninformed optimism, informed pessimism, and then you have I think it was the valley of death, valley of doom. I don't know what it was called, valley of doubt. That's what I'm calling it. And I think that's where I was with programming all those years ago. And I think that's where I am with art. And what I'm hoping is that this is how I can, like, this is a point where I can turn around and I can start to make something. I can start to do something beautiful slowly but surely. I want to be able to do that. It's just so important to me, but I don't know. I mean, I try to be grateful as well. I try to be grateful for what I've already achieved because I think that's a great way to kind of ground myself in reality. Like, I did start a studio, we aren't bankrupt, and we're still working on a major project. But fundamentally, I just think that if you separate all that from each other, in terms of art progress in itself, I just don't think I have as much as I want to. And I mean, that's okay. Everyone's learning. Like, everyone's learning. Like, it's a lifelong process, but I really, really hope things can go a bit better over the next few years and that maybe it's like that point in programming where like soon or maybe not soon or maybe just in the near future, maybe even the far future, something will maybe kind of sort of finally click for me. But I mean, it feels like I felt like that moment already came, but maybe it was just a bit of a teaser. Maybe the real change comes later. I'm getting way too philosophical with this, but all I'm trying to say is that I've been struggling a bit with my mental health in ways that I'd rather not describe in detail. I've had issues with a lot of things. I just find it hard to commit to side projects, especially, and I just haven't been as motivated to go draw or even wake up or just do the things that I love to do. So I'm just hoping that by forcing myself to study a bit, by kind of pushing myself, even if it hurts for a bit, I hope I can do something. And that's also why I made this stupid little video. I don't know. So far, I just haven't shared much of my journey, and I think it's important that I try and do that, or at least keep a record of it. I'm not sure if I'll upload this, but here it is. There it is. I don't know. Yeah, that's about it.